Okay, so this is week 8 video lesson part 2, and just make sure that you have watched part 1. Part 1 was going through the midterm test questions, and this one is going to explain the writing practice for week 8, summary and response, page 97. Okay, so maybe, hopefully, you remember when we studied Unit 4, I did mention this. The last page that we did in Unit 4 was page 95. Okay, so you can look in your book, but you can also look at the PPT on the screen. We looked at page 95. We looked at this part, responding to an author's ideas. And then we also looked at this part about paraphrasing. Okay. So we did those two parts. Now I mentioned that we were going to kind of practice these. So the practice comes on page 97. This is page 97, academic writing skills, writing a summary and a personal response. So there are two boxes there. So the first box, I'm just going to read this. So writing a summary and a personal response is an opportunity to evaluate and express opinions about a writer's ideas. A summary is a short paragraph which, paraphrases the main ideas and important points of a longer text. You should always write a summary in your own words, but be sure not to change the original author's ideas. The paragraph should not include your opinion. Okay, so the summary paragraph does not include your opinion. You are just rewriting or explaining somebody else's words, somebody else's article. You're summarizing a different writer's ideas. In the second paragraph, in a response paragraph, you should give your ideas about the points in the summary. Your response can include examples from your personal experience, facts or knowledge from other sources. You can use the following expressions. So here are just some examples. I agree, disagree with the author. I think that, in my opinion, in my experience, etc. Right, and now the next part in your book, page 97, here is an example of a summary and response. Okay, so this is connected to reading 1 from Unit 4, which we read together. It was about Customs Around the World by Andy Schmidt, page 86. So if you need to, you can have a look at that again. And then let's have a look at this summary and response example. Remember, it's 2 paragraphs. The first one is the summary, the second one is the response. Now the language is important. Let's read it. In the article, Customs Around the World, Schmidt, 2018, says it is important for travelers to learn about the customs of other countries in order to prevent cultural misunderstandings in the places they are visiting. Right, so the very first sentence, you have to tell us the name of the article and the name of the writer and the date. And then you are summarizing the main idea. After that, you can go on to summarize the details. So the second sentence, Schmidt focuses on 3 countries, Brazil, Japan, and Saudi Arabia, and describes some customs visitors should know about. According to the author, remember we talked about that expression? That was in the paraphrasing part on page 95. According to the author, Brazilians are informal people. They touch a lot and punctuality is not expected on most occasions. Japanese culture is exactly the opposite. People don't touch in public, and there are rules for how to exchange business cards, how to dress, what kind of gifts to give, and when to arrive at a meeting or someone's home. Saudi culture is also formal. For example, women and men are not allowed to touch each other in public. The author stresses the importance of personal relationships and warns us that it is important to spend time asking about a host's family or health before starting to talk about business matters. Okay, so that first paragraph is the summary, summarizing the article. Okay, now the next paragraph, your response. Here's the example. I definitely agree with Schmidt's main point. It is easy to make a mistake if you don't know about other people's customs. To give an example from my own experience, I was traveling in India when I was invited to dinner at a friend's home. I had never been to an Indian home, so I decided to do some reading about a proper gift to bring. One of the things I learned is that a guest should not bring white flowers because white is associated with death. Reading this information before the event prevented me from making an embarrassing mistake. In short, these examples remind us that travelers must study the customs of a new country before visiting it. Okay, so in that response, the writer focuses on their own experience. You don't only have to do that. You just have to give your response, your opinion. Okay, everybody, so this is what you're going to do. This is the writing assignment for week 8. Okay. Now, what you can also do, or actually, let's do this together now. Let's have a look at the questions on page 98. Okay, I'll just go through the answers quickly. So question 1, which sentence restates the main idea in reading 1 on page 86? So I did just mention this. The sentence which restates the main idea is the first one. Schmidt says it is important for travelers to learn about the customs of other countries in order to prevent cultural misunderstandings in the places they are visiting. That is the main idea. So it's the first sentence. Question 2, compare the main idea sentence in reading 1 and the main idea sentence of the summary paragraph. Which paraphrasing strategies did the summary writer use? Well, what the writer did was they changed some of the words. So synonyms. Yeah, synonyms and also the word order. Question 3, what other information from reading 1 did the writer include in the summary paragraph? Well, they talked about different things. They told us about the 3 countries, Brazil, Japan, and Saudi Arabia, and they gave us some details about the culture being formal or informal and about gifts. Right, you know what? I don't think we really need to spend too much time going through these questions because I already talked about most of them just now. So let's just move to what you have to do for your writing assignment this week. And basically, what you need to do is to write a summary and response example. Okay, so I'm going to show you my example, but what I also want to do is to make a list of what you have to do. So the writing assignment for week 8 is write your own summary and response. Write your own summary and response. It must be 2 paragraphs. Paragraph 1 is the summary. Paragraph 2, the response. Okay. Now, the reason we are doing this is you are practicing the skills from Unit 4, paraphrasing and responding to a writer's ideas. And also, using researched material is going to be kind of similar to this. When you write your 5-paragraph essay, you must use some of these skills. Okay, talking about other writers, according to blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'll come back to this in a minute. So you are going to write a summary and response example. Now I will show you how I want you to do this. I have also written an example. Okay, so this is the example that I want you to follow. You can use your book, page 97, and you can use this. So I will share this with you in the Smart Campus. Okay, so this is the title, Unit 4, Summary and Response. Next, you put your student name and number. This is just example, Frank Zapper, student number. Okay, now, you have to find an article online. You have to go online and you have to find an article. Go to Naver, go to the BBC, go to CNN. Now, it doesn't have to be in English, okay? Your article does not have to be in English. It does not have to be in English. You can find a Korean article, but then you're going to summarize it in English. Okay, so some students, it's difficult to find English articles. If you want to find an English one, great. If you want to go to Korean websites and find a Korean news article, that is fine. But you must find an article online, a news article. Okay. And then what you have to do is you have to put the link, copy and paste the link and put it in your writing. Okay, so this is the link from my example. It's from the BBC. Okay, so I'll just show you. It's from the BBC. It's this article. Now, I actually did this last semester. So it's an article from maybe 6 months ago. It says there, look, 20th of October 2020. So it's about COVID-19. Here's the title, COVID-19, first UK airport coronavirus testing begins. It's about Heathrow Airport and the airports in England. And it's about doing COVID testing at the airport, okay? So it's a news article. Now, it really doesn't matter what article you choose and use. It really doesn't matter. Anything is fine. Okay, so that was the article that I chose. Okay, whatever you choose, please put the link at the top of your writing. So the first paragraph is the summary. Describe the story. Now you can use the language from your book. Okay, I have done it. My first sentence is the same as the first sentence on page 97. In the article, and then you put the title. Okay, now I just put that there to help the students. I'll delete that. This also does not need to be underlined, so let me get rid of that. In the article, COVID-19, first UK airports coronavirus testing begins. That is the title of the article, everybody. Okay? And then there's a comma, and then you have to put the writer's name. In this case, the writer's name is Burridge, and then you have to put the year of the article. Okay, I just put that there as a little note. Who is the writer? When did they write the article? I'm now going to delete that. So in the article, COVID-19, blah, 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 this is the title, comma, Burridge 2020, says that airplane passengers flying out of Heathrow Airport in London will be offered the service of having a rapid COVID test before boarding their flight. That is the main idea of the article. So again, page 97 and my one, they're very similar. So yours should also be similar. Please start your writing like this. Next, you just give details of the article. So I don't need to read it all, but the first route to offer this is from Heathrow to Hong Kong. The test will cost passengers £80. These are details. But it's important to write things like this. The main reason for this service, Burridge states. So maybe I will just highlight where you have to put language like this. The main reason for this service, Burridge states, is to help people traveling to destinations where proof of a negative result is required, like Korea. Burridge also quotes, okay, so you need to put in yours language like this. In the book, it says, Schmidt says, Schmidt states. Schmidt also, in my one, the writer's name is Burridge, so I use Burridge. Okay, so the first paragraph, you are summarizing the story. And then the second one, the response, your opinion about the story. And here you're going to use language like this. I agree with this service and think it will help people, blah, blah, blah. In this case, I definitely agree. In my opinion, this is also a problem because the UK has a terrible amount of COVID patients. Right, so again, I'm not going to read it all. This is your writing assignment for week 8. It is a summary and response. The first paragraph is the summary, the second is the response. Okay, so you must find an article online. You must use language from the book. I'm talking about pages 95 and 97. Also use Scott's example page to help you write your own summary and response and submit the file in the week 8 assignment folder. Okay, right. Now the deadline is always written in Smart Campus, but last time I made a little bit of a mistake. The deadline is until your week 9 class, okay? So if your class is on Wednesday, 9 a.m., the deadline is week 9 class, 9 a.m. This is week 8 class, okay? So you have to check the calendar. I will put the deadline in the Smart Campus with the assignment folder, but I'm just putting it here as well. Your week 9 class is the deadline. I guess I can put start. Okay, everybody, I think pretty much done. So I'll put these 2 files in the Smart Campus for you. If you have any questions, send me a message. Next Zoom class will be week 9. We will study Unit 5. So you should also prepare for the vocabulary quiz, which will be at the start of that week 9 class. All right, guys, I'm going to finish now. Remember, there were 2 videos. The first video reviewed the midterm test. The second video explained to you the writing assignment for for week 8. All right. See you later.